Hello and welcome to the third episode of Total Drama Multiverse Season 2. This is the second episode of the game show, and I'm pretty excited for this one because we have officially started our challenge suggestions up for the season. Our first one is in this episode. So yeah, let's get right into it. The first thing that we're going to be talking about is whenever everyone's waking up in the morning and going to breakfast, Bruce, I gotta call them by their real names, Bruce, is like, where the heck is Jinwoo? Jinwoo is just completely gone. And Jinwoo, near the end of breakfast, like as everyone's finishing up, he walks in and he looks beat. Like he looks completely out of it. And Bruce asks what's wrong with him, and he said, "Oh, nothing, just thought I'd go get a morning jog." If y'all don't know, part of Jinwoo's whole RPG thing is that he has a few things that he has to do each day. One of them is to run like a ridiculous amount, and then he has to do like I think like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, or maybe even more than that. I don't even remember. But he has to do a ridiculously big workout every day. If not, he'll be sent to this like place where there's these giant bugs and they'll try to kill him. So, like, he'll be teleported to there. So, yeah, he's starting to work out a lot more. In fact, we can actually move him back over here for a bit. Well, no, we'll leave him over here because he sits down and him and Ash have been bonding a little bit. So they bond a little bit more. Meanwhile, what else is going on? I think we'll leave the Chaotic Coyotes for last. The Misfit Monkeys are still pretty dysfunctional. Alice and Mel have gotten along quite a bit, but Jack and Tootie is unknowingly pissing off Jack like a lot, with all the not on purpose bragging. Six has been eating a ridiculous amount of food because of her never-ending hunger. She's been eating a ridiculous amount of food, which really it's not that much food, but it's a ridiculous amount for her size. She's eating like 2 burgers, which is a single burger is like a whole freaking mattress for her. And then he's still Captain Underpants is still like full Captain Underpants mode, not Mr. Corrupt. So there's still kind of chaos. I almost said chaos. That's for a different team. There's still chaos going on the Misfit Monkeys. But speaking of said team, the Chaotic Coyotes. So Samus has just been trying to avoid these 5 and their whole thing going on, and sitting with Steve, who doesn't talk, just is a man who works, and Samus is kind of into that. And he just gets shit done. But over here, an argument's broken out between, this is in the breakfast room. An argument's broken out between Lauren and Ezekiel. And Ezekiel accused Lauren of just dropping him to hang out with Tristan and Lena. And obviously Lauren didn't like that, so they started arguing, and Lauren started getting mad. Why? Like, because Ezekiel can just hang out with them, with these two. And Ezekiel's like, well, I don't know, they're kind of weird. And obviously Della and Tristan are like, oh, damn. Did I say Della? I meant Lena. I might call her Della on accident a few times, because for some reason I've always got those two's names mixed up. Della's a different character from the show. They're completely different characters. I don't know why, but I do. So yeah, it comes to Tristan's trying to calm down Lauren, while Patrice is trying to calm down Ezekiel, and they end up dragging each other away. Same with Lena for Lauren. So yeah, it's not going too well between this whole group. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for our pre-challenge section. So then we have our challenge section, and today's challenge was suggested, I did not mean to drop that, was suggested by Twinber Wolf. So yeah, if you have a challenge suggestion, I already have one by Raymond for the next video, but if you have a challenge suggestion, be sure to leave it in the comments below, and I will add it eventually, assuming it's good, which it's not hard to make a good challenge. Okay, sorry I got interrupted. Okay, so this is Challenge 26, King or Queen of the Ring. So this is a two-parter. So again, I already said, but suggested by Twinber Wolf. And for part 1, contestants will have to climb up the middle peak and try to hold the territory for 5 minutes. So I should explain, if y'all don't remember, this version of Wawanakwa has 3 peaks, like of the iconic cliff from the first episode. There's 3, the first and second episode. There's 3 cliffs identical to that. So the middle one, they'll have to hold the territory for 5 minutes. And the whole team will. Whoever wins gets stronger materials in the second part. In part 2, they will have to build forts on top of each of the 3 peaks and try to either take out the others, like all of the other contestants. You get taken out, by the way, from getting just decommissioned to the point of needing a 1-up mushroom. So pretty much killed, because of course, or stealing their flag, which will be in the middle of their forts. So yeah, let's start with the part 1. So I think everyone starts at the bottom of the peak, and I think realistically, the person to get up there the fastest, I mean, it's easily Sky. So you need to have at least 3 of your members for the timer to start counting. So I think that's fair. Actually, 4 of your members, because then that's majority of your members. So you need to have at least 4 of your members at the start. So Sky rifts up to the top, or teleport, whatever you want to call it, with her 0-point abilities. She goes up to the top, so she's fine. And on the way up, I think a few fights already start breaking out. Oh yeah, also Captain Underpants flies up to the top, so him and Sky are fighting, which isn't really difficult at all. For Sky at least. I think the first fight to break out is probably, I think Alice and Mel would decide to start sabotaging the other teams, and I think they go for probably the team with the weakest, or the weakest member they can think of, which is Tristan, and Tristan's really weak, so they're able to take out Tristan, not like kill Tristan, but just beat Tristan up to the point where it's going to take forever to get back up to the top. So yeah, Tristan's kind of, I'll put Tristan over here, it's kind of just cooked for a bit. But then they keep going, and I think it comes to, once they get near the top, I think Samus has non-lethal, because they're not allowed to kill each other at the on the first part of the challenge. They'll get disqualified. So Samus, she has non-lethal bullets in there. So she's able to tranquilize a few people. I think the first person she's able to tranquilize is Jack. And by the way, 6 was riding on top of Captain Underpants. I forgot to say that. So actually, yeah, let's catch up with them. So yeah, so Jack's over here, and Sky pretty easily kicked Captain Underpants' ass, and Captain Underpants, he falls down into the water, turning back into Mr. Corrupt. But 6 is able to use her like demented powers to completely surprise Sky and end up yeeting Sky freaking across the island. So yeah. But skipping through a bunch of time, I think Lauren is able to get to the top. These people are all getting to the top at the same time. Samus, by the way, got out Jack, or not out, but tranquilized Jack and Ash. Jin Woo is like out of it right now, so he ends up getting carried on Batman's back, so that holds them back a little bit. But they're still probably the fastest on their team, who hasn't been like decommissioned. Guinevere and Daisy probably take quite a bit, but Daisy probably gets there faster and rubs it in Guinevere's face, who just is trying to ignore her at this point. Another person who I think is getting up to the top is just both Patrice and Ezekiel. I think Della. Oh, don't forget, Steve makes it up there ridiculously quick because he's insane. But pretty much everybody except for Jack, Captain Underpants, Ash, Sky, Della, and Tristan. All of them haven't made it, but all of these guys just made it at the same time, including 2D. So, obviously, since everyone's in the territory at the same time, it's like no, the timer's not going for anyone. So a huge brawl breaks out where I think that the first few to fall are pretty easily, like, to fall off are easily Puss in Boots, 2D, I think Guinevere, who, by the way, Bruce saves because she was going to fall into the water, and obviously she would die if she fell in the water. So he saves, but then she immediately runs off the other way. So they're now at 3. And then up top, I think that Samus is able to trap with like a kind of like cage ball that she can shoot. She's able to trap 6, which means they're down to 2, they're down to 3, while these ones have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So their timer starts going up. While I think Jinwoo and Bruce are able to kick a few of their asses, mainly Ezekiel and Patrice's, getting them down again to 3, so their timer stops. But at this point, Tristan has made it up and just hides behind a rock in the middle and just hopes that nobody finds Triss. So, yeah, that's where Tristan is, as well as Sky has recovered and teleported back up as well. So that's 4, 3, 4, and 3. So, yeah, and nobody really makes it up after this. I think everyone here, they're all gonna take too long. So I think the timer's going and everyone's freaking out and battling on the Misfit Monkeys and the Wild Wasps. They're trying to figure out who's hiding. But I think that these 4 are able to subdue Alice and Mel pretty quickly. They're both kind of powerful, but between Steve, Lauren, and Samus, which Tristan's the one hiding and wouldn't be much of a help anyway, between these 3, I think they're able to take out the Misfit Monkeys entirely. And just as there's about 10 seconds left, Batman, Bruce, Jinwoo, and Sky are all looking around for the last person, because at this point they've given up on these 3. Freaking Ash is running up, and he gets over into the territory 1 second after it would have mattered. So the Chaotic Coyotes get the advantage in the second part of the challenge. So yeah, we'll have the Chaotic Coyotes in the middle with their metal. They get metal while everyone else gets wood. The Misfit Monkeys are on the left, and the Wild Wasps are on the right. So everyone gets like 10 minutes to build, and then they're able to go. I think the first thing that happens is Sky teleports into the middle of the Chaotic Coyotes base, because the Chaotic Coyotes have the metal, and she just wants to get rid of them as quickly as possible. It's the first team to fall, they'll get eliminated, so she just wants to get them out, because the Misfit Monkeys already lost a team member. That was part of her logic. But she riffs in to see Samus sitting right next to their flag, and before she can react, Samus blows her face off. But she thought, like, she was like, oh my gosh, she still freaked out because she didn't want to just kill a human, but she knows that she can be revived, and obviously Sky gets the 1-up mushroom, and it's like, well, damn, that sucks. So Sky is decommissioned from the challenge. I think that the Chaotic Coyotes take a few of their best members besides Samus, and go on like a task force. And I think that originally it was going to be these 3, but Patrice decides probably Patrice and Tristan both have been talking to each other and decided it's probably not the best. It was gonna be these four. I mean, I forgot to move Lena. Decided it's probably not the best for Ezekiel to go, so Patrice subs in for Ezekiel, leaving just Tristan and Ezekiel as Lookout and Samus as the main guard. So these four decide that the team they'll have an easier time beating is the Misfit Monkeys. So these four go to try to fight the Misfit Monkeys. Meanwhile, how the Misfit Monkeys have set up, I've got Alice and Mel waiting to ambush anyone who comes in. They got 6 hiding as the main guard, and she'll destroy anyone who tries to get to the flag. And then Tootie and Jack are on the duty of trying to make Mr. Corrupt Captain Underpants again. So, yeah, it's not really working out too well for them. And then on the Wild Wasps, Bruce and Jinwoo and Ash decide that they'll be the people to go attack, while Daisy and Guinevere will be the people who are looking out, and Puss will be the main guard. Actually, I think Puss would be lookout, and then Daisy and Guinevere argue over who gets to be the main guard. And Batman or Bruce eventually just says, "Guinevere, you're it. Daisy, move on." And Daisy gets mad. So yeah, I think once we get down to the hill, and the Wild Wasps are still going for the Chaotic Coyotes using Sky's logic. Same with the Misfit Monkeys. They're all going for the Chaotic Coyotes. Now, well, are they? I feel like they would realize they probably can't if it's just Alice and Mel, which, by the way, I think I said that they're waiting to ambush, but that's just sick. Or that's what these 3 are going to do once they fix Captain Underpants. So they're actually going out. So I think they would actually go for the Wild Wasps instead. So Chaotic Coyotes are going for Misfit Monkeys. Wild Wasps are going for Chaotic Coyotes. And Misfit Monkeys are going for Wild Wasps. Yeah. Okay. So I think the first people to arrive is probably the Misfit Monkeys, or is probably the Wild Wasps at the Chaotic Coyotes, and they just have Samus, Tristan, and Ezekiel. And realistically, Tristan and Ezekiel are just trying, or Ezekiel is just trying to ignore Tristan, while Tristan wants to chill out Ezekiel so that they can just be not haters, because that's a part of Tristan's character. But Ezekiel continues to ignore Tristan. But they're both ambushed by Alice and Mel, and both taken out of the challenge. And that just leaves Samus to fend off against these two. Meanwhile, I think Lauren, Steve, Lena, and Patrice all show up at the they're going for the Wild Wasps. At the Wild Wasps. And, wait, are they going for the Wild Wasps? Am I stupid? I think I'm stupid. They're going for the Misfit Monkeys. Oh my gosh, I keep getting it all mixed up. Chaotic Coyotes go for Misfit Monkeys. Misfit Monkeys go for Chaotic Coyotes. Wait, I said they went to Wild... Okay, you know what? Hold on. Okay, reset. I'm saying this right now. This is the thing. Ignore all the other rambling. Misfit Monkeys are going for Chaotic Coyotes. Chaotic Coyotes are going for Wild Wasps. Wild Wasps are going for Misfit Monkeys. That is the canon. Nothing is changing. Okay. Chaotic Coyotes show up at the Wild Wasp base. And they pretty easily decide to go, split up. So they put the people that are strongest, with the people that are weakest of the 4. And I think that Steve and Patrice go for Puss, while Lauren and Della go for Guinevere. And Puss gets killed pretty easily, and then is brought back with the 1-up mushroom. Wow. Oh, but by the way, I should probably say this. After getting brought back with the 1-up mushroom, Puss in confessional says that he needs to get his hands on more of those one-up mushrooms. He might not even need the wish at that point. So yeah, that'll be important in a few episodes. But meanwhile, Lauren and Della both get absolutely cooked by Guinevere. If y'all have seen the Knights of Guinevere pilot, y'all will know why. So after getting the one-up mushrooms, they're both like traumatized. Meanwhile, oh wait, they went. Yeah, no, Daisy's the guard. So Daisy gets killed by them, and then they all both go in and get cooked by Guinevere. So after they get murdered, Steve and Patrice go in, and they see Lauren and Lena, get destroyed, and they're both like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." And they both start heading back to their pace to recuperate with what they think they're gonna find being Tristan, Ezekiel, and Samus. Meanwhile, Alice and Mel. Wait, Alice and Mel were going for, yeah, they killed Tristan and Ezekiel. So, yeah, meanwhile, what I meant to say was Bruce and Jin Woo and Ash all decide to make their way to the Misfit Monkeys, right? Hold on. Why do I keep confusing myself? Chaotic Coyotes, they just came back from getting cooked by the Wild Wasps. They're going the Chaotic Coyotes. So yes, y'all are going to the Misfit Monkeys. This is way too confusing for my small 2 brain cells. But Bruce, Jinwoo, and Ash make their way to the Misfit Monkeys, and Sudi and Jack are starting to like get completely lost, and then these 3 bust in, and they end up killing Jack first, and then 2D's like, wait, please, no. Because obviously he's not going to be fighting any of these 3. He couldn't even hold his own against Ash out of these 3. Or Jin Woo, honestly. I feel like that'd be a fair fight, because 2D is pretty weak. But I think 2D gets killed here. And before he does, I think that during the thing, he tries one last thing. He has one last idea, and he snaps. And the reason he has this idea is because he heard a snap. He remembers hearing a snap right before he freaking got Captain Underpants appeared last time. There we go. My brain is completely lost. So Captain Underpants awakens and is able to. He doesn't kill though, so he's able to subdue Ash and Jinwoo before just getting killed by a batarang. So yeah, sorry on Underpants, but Steve and Patrice are able to make it back in time to save Samus from Alice and Mel, making them both get killed. But in the process, Patrice is killed as well, which means that there's only Steve, Samus, Six, Batman, or Bruce, Jinwoo, Ash, and Guinevere. And it ends up coming down to after Bruce, Jinwoo, and Ash all go in to fight Six, they all collectively, or at least immediately, Jinwoo and Ash get killed by Six. And by the way, I should say that the person to kill Jack was Jinwoo. That's important, because Jinwoo, when he kills something, he gets XP from it. He gets a lot of XP when he kills humans. Jack is literally a real human being. So he got a lot of XP from that and leveled up a lot. So he got quite a bit stronger, but not strong enough to take on Six's powers. So yeah, and then Batman, with no prep time, was completely caught off guard by the little girl and killed as well. So yeah, now we just have our defenders and Steve. And Steve is decides to instead go for the Wild Wasps this time. Again, I just realized, why'd I say instead? He already went there. He goes back, and he decides to go with Samus, leaving their thing completely guarded. They're taking the risk. By the way, nobody knows if like who's dead and who's in. Nobody can tell. So Steve and Samus go in while Six and Guinevere are both just sitting in their bases waiting, and they're able to ambush Guinevere and destroy Guinevere's like freaking robotic body. And the one-up mushroom still is able to work on robots. It just is. It's able to work on everything. And that's shown in a few things in Smash Bros. And 13 years, all kinds of stuff. So it still works, but she gets killed, meaning that Steve and Samus take the flag and run all the way back to their base while 6 is just sitting there, and then they win. So yeah, that was a lot, like a lot, but whatever. This is I like having longer episodes. So yeah, let me quickly put everyone back. Okay, so and then we have our post-challenge section. So we'll first start with the two teams that aren't going to elimination, where honestly not too much is going on. I think that on the Misfit Monkeys, a lot of people were very impressed, if not scared, of 6. And also they've made a pretty clear target out of Captain Underpants and Mr. Krupp for just being completely unreliable and just not really good. But remember, Jack still doesn't want 2D around. Meanwhile, in the Chaotic Coyotes, Tristan is trying everything in Tristan's power to have Ezekiel and Lauren chill out and be friends again. So, yeah, that's not going very well, though. And then same with Patrice. Tristan and Patrice have actually been talking quite a bit, trying to calm Ezekiel and Lauren down. Della as well, but not as much, because Della has been dealing with her own problems, which we'll get to more in later episodes, but her mom has been, or her aunt, rather, has been trying to get her to do some bad stuff instead of just competing in the game show, to just go steal it on the other side of the island, to go steal the Dragon Balls and just wish then. But Lena obviously wants to hang with Lauren and Tristan, so that's not happening right now. Meanwhile, not too much other stuff is going on, but now we can talk about the Wild Wasps. Remember, we'll get more into the Puss in Boots with the one-up mushrooms thing eventually. We'll also get more into Jin Woo's stuff eventually, but let's just talk about who they're trying to vote out. So let me bring them up to here. I don't know why I put them all above the post-challenge section, but let me put them up here. So I think that obviously Daisy wants Guinevere, and Guinevere wants Daisy, but these three have weighed their options and decided that, like, they've made a 3-person alliance, and they've Bruce has valued or has promised Guinevere to have protection. So that kind of puts these three on the outs. And while Guinevere wants Daisy out, and she's like, well, didn't you promise me protection? Bruce is like, well, just think about it. The person who's the person who's better in challenges? Daisy, who has quite good physical feats. Obviously, they're not going to vote out Sky because she's the most powerful person on their team. Or Puss, who is arrogant, kind of lazy at this point because he's retired. He's a cat, obviously. He's not really powerful compared to like anyone else on their team outside of like Jin Woo right now. But even he's stronger now. So Guinevere's like, fine, and Bruce is like, I promise we'll get Daisy out next time. So yeah, when it comes to elimination, the 4 of them vote for Puss, while the 3 of them vote for Daisy's able to get them 2 who have just been vibing to vote for Guinevere, but obviously that does not matter because Puss in Boots is sent home. But is he? So Puss is eliminated from the competition, but after getting eliminated, he runs off into the woods, and nobody can find him. So he basically explains in confessional, because for some reason confessional isn't even like a confessional anymore in the main show. It's just they can go and they can just teleport there even if they're in the middle of a challenge and say something. So yeah, it's basically just a plot dump. now, so I'm using it that way as well. But he go in confessional, and he basically says, I'm getting my hands on more lives one way or another. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode of Total Drama Multiverse. A pretty good challenge. I honestly, the only thing that was bad about it wasn't the actual challenge. It was just that I could not freaking remember who was going for who in that second half. But outside of that, I'm pretty happy with this episode. And even though I know some of y'all are going for Puss in Boots, I actually gave him this second part of his arc because I knew he was going to be an early boot. But I know some people like Puss in Boots a lot, so I'm giving him more. We're not done with him yet. We might not even be done with him in the game yet. We'll see. But yeah, until next time, see ya.